Bandhvam Bhakta Vrinda Samanvitam Sri Chaitanya Prabhum Bhande Nityananda Sahoditam Shri Nandanandanam Bhande Radhika Charana Dvayam Gopijana Samayuktam Vrindavana Manoharam Amala Kamala Raji Sparshi Vata Prashite Nija Sarasini Dage Sayamula Saniyam Parijana Gana Yukta Kridiyanti Bakarim Snapyati Nijadasye Radhika Mam Kadanu. It's Kartik, October 27th. 27th. The glorious sevas of Srimati Radharani. And now we're discussing Vilava Kusumanjali, text 68, about the Abhisar, Radharani's journey into the forest to meet Krishna. For a couple of days we've been discussing this pastime. It happens in the morning, Madhyankal, around, to be exact, 10:48 to 11:12 in the morning. This is when Radharani moves from Barsan or Yavat to meet Krishna at Radhakund. That's what the acharyas are telling us. It's one danda, dandatmika seva. The 60 dandas in a day, 60 24-minute periods in Radha and Krishna's day, or anyone's day. And in this particular time juncture of 24 minutes, from 10:48 a.m. until 11:12, Radharani leaves to go meet Krishna, her journey to meet her beloved. So this seva of Abhisar seva is rendered by the Sakhis and Manjaris. They arrange for Krishna to meet Radha, and they arrange for Radha to meet Krishna. So there's a very beautiful verse, Ha Rupa Manjari Sakhi Pranayena Devim Twad Bahu Datta Bhujavalarim Ayatakshim Paschadaham Kalita Kama Taranga Rangam Neshyami Kim Hari Vibhushita Keli Kunjam Kama Taranga Rangam Vibhushita Keli Kunjam. So one side it's Radharani's Kama Taranga Rangam. Radharani's Kama Taranga Rangam. On those waves of her intense desire to love and serve Krishna, she's moving very delightfully. Kama Taranga Rangam. That's her side coming towards Krishna. Then in the receiving end, Krishna is going to receive Radha in the Kunja, Keli Kunja, and welcome her. On his side, he's decorating the Kunja very nicely, the Keli Kunjam. So as I mentioned yesterday, there was one verse from the Kunja Keli Virodavali by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And there he's mentioning how Krishna is waiting anxiously and how he starts doing seva to welcome Radharani. This is in verse 12. Priyaya gajantya swayam anupalabdo vanam patam parishkura van pushper ganavitapa valir vegatayan Sapani byam lumpan nija charana chinham chalatiyas tadagre tam nomi pranaya vivisham tam giridaram. When his Priyaji Radha rushes over the forest paths to meet him in her Abhisar love journey, Krishna is personally sweeping the pebbles and dried thorns from the road and footpath that Radharani will traverse. He's doing this in a secret way. And then he's sprinkling flowers all over that footpath. Then he's removing all the branches, any branches and vines which may be obstructing the way. Of course, now everything is so big and so much Aishvarya coming into Vrindavan. But there were times in the Parikrama Marg in Vrindavan, And especially in Govardhan, when you go on the inside path where the bushes were coming over on either side, and you have to be careful. You have to watch, be very careful because you might get a thorn in your eye when you have to duck down after Punchari, especially after Punchari, and going up the backside towards Jatipur. There's a very narrow path there. Now it's big, like road. It's a very narrow path, and it went up like this and down like that. But now it's very flat, a gradual plain. But there were babo trees and different vines hanging over, so you had to bend down. It was very good exercise for the back. You had to bend down and watch your eyes and pay attention, and then it would open up a little bit. So as this, you can imagine, 5,000 years ago, there was the predominant, the landscape was predominated by trees. It was a forest, van, Dwarasa van. There were huge forests, and very small lanes here and there, footpaths through the forest, just for one man to walk, one gopi to walk, one Krishna to walk, just 10 inches wide, this wide. Then there were the main roads. The main roads were as wide as one bullock cart. The road from Nandagram to Barsana, even the same road is there. From Nandagram to Barsana, Barsana to Govardhan, Govardhan to Mathura. The very same road that people travel on today. Krishna traveled on with Nanda Baba, or Nanda Baba traveled there 5,000 years ago to pay his taxes in Kamsa's capital of Mathura. Same road is there. But then it was a very narrow road. Now it's 2 lanes, big road. So therefore, even you can remember, I don't know how much your memory goes or experience, but in this road, Chatikar Road from Radhakund to Vrindavan, up until maybe the year 2000 or 1998, it was single lane, and during the rainy season, the bushes and especially bubble trees and these small bushes with cut-in thorns, they would grow over in such a way that if you had the windows down and it's a hot day and you're speaking to your friend, you're going to Radhakund Govardhan, some branch would come in a tree like that and catch your head or your eye, or it could be very, very dangerous. So someone would say, oh, roll the windows up fast. So the road was literally going between the bushes, and it was less than 1 lane wide. And some other car came, you had to go pull over the side, and all the bushes would scratch and scrape the side of your car. This is my own memory. I can remember that. That's the road. That's the main road from Radhakund to Vrindavan. And then the road from Delhi Agra Highway into Krishna Balaram Temple used to be a single lane also. And on either side there were huge neem trees. Not as big as a tree I described before, but they were big. You could I guess if you embraced them, maybe you're barely able to join your hands behind. I don't know, they'd be bigger than that. Pretty big. They're about 500 years old on either side of that single lane road. And the branches, it was amazing. The branches would go up like this, and just like in the kunjas, they would join on the top. The tree on the right-hand side of the road and the left-hand side of the road, they straight up. And then the branches, and they were exactly 14 feet high, they would join. Because the lorry, the legal size of a truck or a lorry in India, when it's packed and the backside is 14 feet. So you would see when the lorries would go down that one road, you're behind it, the trees would just go across, they would just come down to the top of that. Because of the lorries, trucks going by, the trees were continually getting trimmed and reminded, don't go any lower. So they're just like this, and the trees would go like this with a big lorry. That was the vision. I remember coming from New York to London to Delhi, and coming on the taxi, and the Delhi Agra Highway is so ugly and smelly and dirty and dusty. And then you turn off that road, then you get on the road, and all the way down from practically the beginning at the corner, all the way down to Harini Kunj, which is nearby where Banki Bihari is, 1 block before. It's just neem trees all the way down. And they were just you look. We always used to say here. I remember we used to say when we came to Vrindavan, 77, 80. So, oh, this is the tunnel of love. It looked like a tunnel when you look down because the street was perfectly straight, and the trees would be like this, and the lighting would be such, and be all Like and between those neem trees, which were planted every 50 or so feet, someone had planted eucalyptus trees set back a little further, and I think even they're all gone now. But it was shady. It was very shady, and it looked like a beautiful tunnel, a tunnel of love, because you're going into the heart of Vrindavan, Radha Govindaji's heart, and Radha Madan Mohan, and Shyamasundar Vinodilal, and all the deities there. Now it's a double, 2 lanes in one way, 2 lanes another way, and a big road divider, and big lights, and billboards, and signboards. At any rate, it was a little different when Krishna he was cutting the vines, because the vines are coming over the footpath. Oh, these may disturb Radharani's hair. She made her hair so beautiful for me. Might get caught in the vine, and I might catch her, I might scratch her. So Krishna's moving the vines away, so it's wide open, the pathway is wide open. So this is Krishna doing an extremely humble service because of his love. So when one loves someone, they'll do even the most humble service. I remember when we joined ISKCON in 1975, and we have MBBS in medicine, so we thought we were pretty smart. So then when we got in the temple, they said, listen, what's your qualification? I told, and he said, oh, that's useless here. He said, I said, it's pretty useful outside the door there, down the street. But here, he said, this is useless. Do you know how to cook? And I said, no, I don't like cooking, and now I'm forced to cook. He said, I don't like cooking. And he said, do you know how to, what do you know how to do? I said, well, study, and speak a little bit sometimes, but not much. I can sing not much and dance a little. I couldn't do anything. It's like Madhav Mahotsav, when Radharani became Vrindavaneshwari. She became the queen of Vrindavan, and then everybody was approaching her administration, trying to get some post and position, minister this, minister that. So then all the posts were taken up by very qualified Sakhis and Manjaris. They were Minister of Finances, Minister of Transportation, Minister of Welfare, and all these things. So then Krishna said, oh, I want to get an employment, and I want to get a government job. Because everyone knows if you get a good government job, it's good pension, and it's a secure job, and all these things. So Krishna went to get some employment from Radha Sarkar. Radha Sarkar means she's the Prime Minister, the Pradhan Mantri. Vrindavaneshwari Radharani ki jai. So then Krishna went, and then Lalita came to take his interview, his biodata. What is your qualification? What is your education? And she was asking a question, what do you know how to do? He said, well, I take cows out to the pasture, and Lalita said, that's all? There's thousands of people here do that. What is your special qualification to get some employment in the Queen's court? You want to be a servant of the Queen, then you have to have some contribution to the royal empire. What else? Well, I can milk cows. I know I'm very expert at milking cows. And Lalita's looking at Vishaka. Did you hear that? He runs with the cows. He milks the cows. Is that it? And then Krishna was like, didn't know what else to say, because he doesn't know Sanskrit. He only knows Braj. And then Vishaka said, well, ask him if he knows any languages. Maybe he can translate for Radharani when other ambassadors from other countries come. Maybe he knows Rajasthani, or maybe he knows Punjabi or some other language. So when those representatives come, he can translate for Radharani into Braj Bhasha. So he said, do you know any languages? Do you know Punjabi, or do you know Rajasthani, or all these regional languages? And he said, no, I know the language of the cows. I can call the cows, and I can call the buffalo. I know the language of the birds and animals of Braj, and I know all the languages. In fact, people, when they describe me, they say I'm Sarva Bhashavit. They say I'm Sarva Bhashavit. Sarva Bhashavit. Bhasha means language. Sarva means all. Vit means I'm a knower, a vidvan. I fully know all the languages. So, but I don't know those languages. So basically and then Vishaka says, then what you're really trying to say is, aside from speaking to animals and birds and cows, You can only speak Braj Bhasha, right? Well, yeah, it's like that. And Lalita says, oh no, this person has no proper adhikar qualification. And he wants us to accept his application, his interview. We're conducting his interview, we'll submit it to Swamini. And we can't even get anything of value of this person. So then they said, is there anything else you can do that's actually valuable for the Queen's service? He said, well, I have this Vamshi here. I have this Vamshi, Bansuri, and I can play, and some people say I play pretty well. I mean, Shiva is amazed, and Brahma is amazed. Ananta Shesh starts rocking back and forth and kind of getting hypnotized like all snakes do when someone plays the flute. And even Indra is amazed at the ragas that I compose on my flute, my Vamshi. And then Vishaka says, are you kidding me? Every single Gwal in Braj Mandal has a Vamshi tucked in his dhoti. Every single cowherd man can play the flute. That's how they collect their cows. What is your special qualification? He said, well, I guess I don't have any by your standards. So then they go to Radharani and say, well, can you at least ask the Queen if there's any possible position that I can attain an employment in her government service? Sarkar, Radharani Sarkar Seva. So then Lalita and Vishaka went in to tell about the interview. She said, listen, Radharani, Swamiji, Radharani Sarkar, Vrindavaneshwari, there's one fellow here that is applying for some government post. Acha. So what is his qualification? Nothing special. He's a Gwal and he plays the flute and that's about it. I said, what does he look like? Well, he's a little cute and he has these kind of large eyes, you know, his eyes are rather distinctive, I would say, eyes are very large and they seem to be full of excitement and joy. And he has, and another thing I noticed, his hair is extremely wavy, and I mean all the cowherd boys have black hair, but his hair has this kind of sporty ranga, this delightful curls and waves in it. He does have a kind of a special look, I can say that. And then Radharani says, so he looks pretty smart? I mean, he looks like presentable? And I say, yes, he does. Okay, then I think he could be our chokidar. He could be our kotwari, because then when people come from other kingdoms, they'll see that, oh, this queen has some good-looking driver or good-looking, chokidars. So you can tell him that we found a post for him, so he won't be in anxiety. So Lalita Sakhi, this is Madhav Mahotsav, Jiva Goswami. So Lalita Sakhi goes back to Radharani and says, listen, we found a post for you. You can be the kotwari, Radharani's doorkeeper. So this is showing how Krishna is willing to take any humble service, despite his rather high qualification as being God, the generator, the operator, the destroyer, the omniscient, the omnipotent, and the whatever, all the other omnis. So when I joined, I thought I was something. And they said, listen, you don't have any qualification to serve here in ISKCON. Having MBBS in medicine, that's worthless over here. So I tell you what, you can clean the toilets. This is a good job for you. You can clean the toilets, but they're not ordinary toilets. These are the toilets of the Vaishnava Brahmins and devotees in the temple. These are Vaishnava toilets. And I said, okay. I said, I was new. I said, so this is what is Bhakti Yoga. This is Bhakti Yoga, this type of activity. Oh yes, this is devotional service for the pleasure of Krishna and Guru and Vaishnavas. So then I went and do the seva, and I was thinking, yeah, this is Bhakti Yoga. What I was doing, this is Bhakti Yoga. So Krishna, he's removing with his, and then because he's preparing the footpath for Radharani to come to the Keli Kunj, and he's sprinkling flowers there, and he's moving the branches. and Vishwanath is telling, he's removing the branches and vines, pushing them to the side because the footpath is very narrow through the forest, and they may scratch or catch Radharani. So then as he's walking back, he's sprinkling flower petals on the ground to welcome her. Then he's seeing, oh, but my feet are leaving footprints in the Brajaduli. In the very soft sand of Vrindavan, my feet are leaving footprints. So then he bends down with his hands and he wipes away this charan chinna, that's what it says here. Lampan nija charana chinnam chalatiyas. He said, with his hands, vigatayan sopanibhyam, vigatayan sopanibhyam, lumpan nija charana chinnam. With his own hands, he was wiping away nija, the marks on his feet. So because if Radharani's walking, she'll see, oh, the foot. Usually there's some vines hanging here or there, some bushes blocking my way, and it almost catches my beni, and I have to be careful when I come to the kunja. But now it's very clear and very nice pathway, and someone has sprinkled flowers. Who has done this? And then if Krishna's charan chinna, his footprints are there, it'll be a dead giveaway. Immediately, oh, it's Shyamsundar. But now, who has done this? Has Brinda Devi done this? Has Rupa Mandri done this? Has Purnamasi arranged for this? Or some Van Devis or Ritu Devis, goddesses of the forest, have they made this wonderful arrangement on the order of Brinda Devi? So she was a little curious. And so then it says, and then Vishwanath concludes it. He says, I offer my obeisances to Giridhari, who is thus overwhelmed by feelings of love. Pranaya vivishwam tam giridharam. So that just shows you that when this verse 68 from Vilabkusumanjali, that Krishna is just as eager as Radharani is. They're both Krishna's eagerly waiting, and he can't just sit there. He says he's sitting, comes out and goes back, and he wants to do something because he has so much excitement in his heart and so much delight in his mind and energy of love and the ecstasy and anticipation of meeting his beloved Swamini Radha. So then he said, I want to do something. So he goes out, and then, love gives you ideas. Love gives you ideas to serve your beloved. And that's what bhakti is all about. When you're developing love for Krishna, you don't have to ask someone, was there any seva for me? Because the love itself gives so many ideas to serve the beloved. So when the focus of our love is Krishna, when the object of our loving sentiments and aspirations is the lotus feet of Radha Govinda Yugal, then when we approach them, they will give us so many ideas for seva. Do this and do that. There's no such thing as an idle moment in the life of a premi bhakta. There's no such phenomenon as being bored or I don't know what to do right now with a true bhakta of the Lord. They're always internally propelled and mentally excited to render service by service by service for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna Yugal. So this is Krishna himself. He doesn't want to sit there in the kunj and be the Savior Bhagavan, to receive the service of the Sevaka Radha, the Prema Shraya. He wants to serve Radharani, his beloved. So love creates this type of mood. So this whole verse 68 is all about Abhisar. And there are some nice songs that describe Abhisar, which are collected in this book called Songs of Vidyapati and Chandidas, although they're different authors. One of the songs is in the songbook, I think in one Gaudiya Math songbook. It's by Rai Ramananda. Rai Ramananda is Vishaka. And I don't know exactly how to sing it. I've heard people sing this song, and you're probably familiar with it, maybe know how to sing it yourself, but I can't remember. But it describes Abhisar, and that's one of the 16 sevas of the Manjris, is Abhisar, to arrange for Radha to meet Krishna and Krishna to meet Radha, the love journey. And as it's translated, the secret rendezvous. Kalayati nayanam dishi dishi valitam pankajam iva mridu maruta chalitam keli vipinam pravishati radha pratipada samudita manasija bhadha Vinindat Vinidati mridu mantarapadam rachayati kunjaragatim anuvadam janayati ruja gajadipo muditam kavi ramananda rai gaditam. I heard the devotees sing this bhajan, and recorded it also. Kaliyati nayanam dishi dishi valitam pankajam iva mridu maruta chalitam. It's very beautiful. I know some of the famous ISKCON singers, they have this on their tapes. Radhika is looking around in all directions as she moves down the footpath on her way to meet Krishna, making her unsteady eyes appear like lotuses moved by a gentle breeze. Radha is entering the pleasure garden, feeling pangs caused by the god of love at every step. She is walking with soft and slow paces, much like those of an intoxicated elephant. Gunjara gatim anuvadam. May these words of the poet Rai Ramananda contribute to the pleasure of Gajapati Pratap Rudra, the ruler of Orissa. Here it's mentioned as two different words, Pratap Rudra. Very interesting. Usually we say Prataparudra. We usually pronounce it something like Prataparudra, King Prataparudra. But this person is an expert translator, my godbrother, especially from Bengali, and this is Bengali and Sanskrit, and his name is Dasharath Sutta, and this is a production of his, and he's breaking it down. Gajapati means the king of elephants, or the king, the Gajapati, because kings usually have so many elephants as a symbol of their power, and they used for also war. Elephants in the medieval time were the equivalent of tanks. The modern armies have these army tanks, these big tanks that go over the land in the old days. Now it's all rockets. But tanks were like the heavy artillery, so the elephants are the heavy artillery. There's the cavalry, there's the men, the cavalrymen, then there's the horsemen. There's the cavalrymen, the horsemen, then the horse and chariots, then the elephants. These are the four agents of war in the medieval times. So first there's the foot soldiers, cavalry is called foot soldiers. And then there's the horsemen, men on horses with swords and maces and clubs. And then there's the chariots, like Arjuna on the chariot, right, with Krishna driving. Then the elephants. So sometimes the elephants will lead the way, or different like that. So Radharani's an intoxicated elephant. But he's saying Gajapati Pratap Rudra, two different words, as if his last name is Rudra, because Pratap is a very common Indian first name, isn't it? Pratap. So that makes more sense. His first name is Pratap. Pratap means austerity, and means he's very powerful in austerities. Pratap, Prakrishnarena tapasya tap. Or tap also means fire. The word tap, because when you do tapasya, try doing Nirjala Ekadasi and see how warm you get. Even if you're an old man, you get pretty warm. And sometimes the next day until you break fast, if it's a late break fast, you may get chills and may break out in what they call a cold sweat, because your body thermostat is so disturbed by the lengthy fast. If you eat today at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, then you fast all day tomorrow, Ekadasi, that's 24 hours. Then from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 o'clock in the morning, that's 24 and 12 is 36. And then it's like almost 40 hours fasting. No water, no food. So your body, your bioclock and biorhythm gets completely upside down. Oftentimes I've seen, even in older age, on the Dwadasi, sweat just comes running out of my forehead out of nowhere. And I feel like, I'm about to faint and perspiring. I can remember once I was speaking on that morning of Dwadasi on my veranda, and these things were happening to me, and devotees said, Maharaj is having ecstatic symptoms. They were young men, they were like 25 years old from Delhi and whatnot. And my whole shirt was wet, and And I'm not that fired up type of person, rather on the cool side of things. And everyone's looking like, what's happening, Maharaj? And I was just speaking. And I said, I don't feel very well. And then, because I couldn't drink, and then finally when I could drink. So I told him later, I said, don't miss, that was not ecstatic symptoms. That was from a lack of water and sleep, and no sleep, and no water, and no food. Because of Jagara in his body, that's tapasya. So the word tapasya, which generally we translate it to mean austerity or penance, it's a fact, it means that. But moreover, the deeper implication of the word is that tapasya generates a fire of purity, pavitram agni. It generates a fire of purity because it's devotional austerity. And devotional austerity attracts the attention of God. And God enters the heart as a fire. He's already there in the body. Jadaragni in the stomach is Krishna. Ham Vaishvanara Bhutva, I told that before. He's the fire of digestion. So when you fast, he gets really fired up. And then he moves around the body and burns up all the sins. So that's why tapasya means austerity, because austerity is a process of burning out sense gratification, burning out the desires, burning out the tendencies. It's very powerful. People become purified. That's told in Gita. You become purified by transcendental knowledge, become purified by austerity, become purified by giving charity, and become most purified by bhakti. And Krishna reiterates that in the second canto of Bhagavatam. Shrinvatam swa kata Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridyantakshto yabhadrani virunoti saritsatam. He's telling that when one hears Harikatha, that's the biggest fire, that's the biggest purification. Because Krishna is directly here, he appreciates and becomes pleased when he sees that we're listening to Harikatha. Hridyantakshta yubhadrani, Hridyanta, Krishna is standing inside the heart, and then he removes all the inauspiciousness. Abhadrani means sin. Kutam bijam aparabdha parabdha. This is abhadrani. And we become satam, we become pure. So now there's another song by the famous Padakarta Govindadas. Govindadas was a Kaviraj. Govindadas Kaviraj. He wrote about Avisar also. And he said like this, and this is exactly describing what we're reading. We're reading this verse 68 from Vilakusa Manjali. Radharani is proceeding to the Kunj at the time of this 10:48 to 11:12 in the morning. This is the time for Radharani's Avisar. Right in the beginning of the Madhyan Leela, that 24-minute period, that one danda, that's the Abhisar danda, portion of time where Radharani is walking. And now he describes the situation. Mat hahitapan, we talked about tapasya. Mat ahitapan tapat bhattam bhalaka atapa dahana vitar nanika putali tanu charna kamala janu dinahi chalali abhisar. So 3 times the word is there, tapan, tapat, and just 2 times tapat. Hari Hari Premaka Gati Anivar Kanu Parasha Rase Avasha Rasavati. Kanu and Rasavati. Vichurala Sababun Vichar. Guru Jana Nayana Papagana Varana Marota Mandala Duli. Tahika Meli Chalali Vararangani Pantahin Gay Sababuli. Jata Jata Vigini Jitali Anuragani Sadali Manasija Mantra Govinda Dasa Kahai Ava Samujal Hari Sani Rasamaya Tantra. When the sun overhead is shining its rays of fire and the burning sands on the pathway below, this is the situation. The sun, it's 12 o'clock, the sun is so hot. Sri Radha, with her body delicate as a doll made of fresh butter. You recognize this word? Putali. Remember I told about Putali? Nanika Putali Tanu Charna Kamala Janu. So her body is compared to like a doll, like a mannequin. Made of fresh butter, and her feet are soft as lotus petals. Charna Kamal Janu. She's traveling to the place of rendezvous during the daytime. Dinahi. Dinahi means dinko. Dinko is Hindi. Dinahi. Dinahi chalali. Dinahi chalali avisar. Dinahi chalali avisar. Alas, alas, it is impossible to restrain the outpouring of love. It's interesting. The translator takes Hari, Hari, and translates it in English as alas, alas. Hari, Hari. Very interesting. Hari, Hari. Alas, alas. It is impossible to restrain the outpouring of love. Saturated with love as Radharani was, desire to touch Kanu did away with all her self-control and paralyzed Radha's good judgment. The supremely delightful Radha was under cover of the dust raised by the whirlwinds from brisk breezes and screened from the suspicious eyes of her superiors. All right, now this is a nice udipan. Everyone should cement this in your memory banks for time eternal. Because you can understand from this day forward, many times in many places and many days in the future, as you move in India, and especially in Vrindavan, you will come across dust. You'll go behind you'll be walking and some bus will go by and then so much dust will fly in the whole area and blind you. Or some car or some trucks in front of you. There's so much, somewhere you'll get somewhere where someone's going down a road very fast and generating lots of dust in everyone's faces and windshields and dust everywhere. You have to roll up the windows. You've had this experience? It's pretty common. There's lots of dust in India in general, especially Brajaraj, Vrindavan. So when that happens, remember, just think, this is an udipan, this is a stimulant to remind you of a Leela. When you see that dust and experience that dust, oh, Radharani's Abhisar, Madhyan Leela, Radhakund. And Radhakund's the opposite of dust. There's Duli and there's Ras. Duli is dust and Ras is liquid. So that Duli brings Radharani to the rasa-filled Radhakund. Radha Sara, Krishna Sara. Sara means kund, and you Sara backwards, Sara becomes Rasa. So the Radha Sara and Sham Sara is Radhakund and Shamakund. Radha Sara is Radha Ras, Sham Sara is Sham Ras. So when you're covered with dust, you're walking, you're riding your bicycle, and some old dust comes somewhere, and then you can think, oh, Radharani she's moving, she's on her Abhisara. It's 10:48 in the morning to 11:12, and her heart is full of anticipation. Her eyes are wide, and she's disregarded. She doesn't even care about her superiors. It says Guru Jana. The word is Guru Jana Nayana. She doesn't even care about the suspicious eyes, the Nayana of her Guru Jana. She doesn't care about the Guru Jana. Guru means heavy. Guru means superior, heavy. Like your relatives, your in-laws. It also means spiritual teacher, of course. But it means superior, Guru Jana. Jana means superior people, my elders, my relatives. Their suspicious eyes will not see Radharani because she's covered by a whirlwind of dust. So that dust, when you see that dust blowing around the footpaths and roads of Vrindavan, you should think, oh, this is very wonderful. This is very nice. Radharani must be passing by here. Radharani must be just passing here, and this dust is blowing here to cover Radharani, so no Guru Jana Nayana, no suspicious eyes can see Radharani. Because Radha and Krishna are still moving in Vrindavan, everywhere. So everything here is anukul, it's favorable for the pleasurable pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Now we have to develop that favorable consciousness. Anukulya chit. Anukulyena Krishna, no, that was that verse. Anukulyena sankalpa, particularly Varjanam. We have to accept everything favorable. So when our consciousness becomes favorable to Krishna and his eternal service, then the whole land of Vrindavan becomes favorable and compatible to our meditation and our consciousness, which is always reaching out to serve Krishna and his Nitya Leela. So wherever we go, Nitya Leela is going on. but are we going on in Nitya Leela? Everywhere we go, Krishna's Nitya Leela is going on, but are we going on in that Nitya Leela and the various sevas and remembrances and prayers to enter therein? Ask yourself. So he's saying, the supremely, so she was undercover, she like either go in midnight and it's all dark and you're wearing dark nilambara sari and you have all kajal on your eyes and hair over your face and everything's covered and dark. Then you're moving under the cover of darkness. Everyone's heard this term. The thieves are operating under the cover of darkness, the protection of darkness. You can't see in the dark, and you can't see through heavy dust clouds. In Gokul Lila, when Trinavarta picked up Krishna when he was only 6 months old, or maybe 7 days. I thought 6 months. I forget just now. I think maybe 7 days. It was like 7 days old. After he was 7 days old, or 1 year, I think maybe 1 year. He's 1 year, Krishna was 1 year, I think. And Trinavarta picked him up and took him for the sky, in the sky. And that's when Yashoda put him down to see. Yashoda was taking care of Krishna, Gopal, and some milk was boiling on the stove, as usual. So when she put him down, he became very, very heavy also. Why is he so heavy? Then she went to the stove, because Krishna knew this demon was coming, and Krishna wanted to go for a ride in the sky, because it was a little hot time of the year then. And he's thinking, oh, it's very hot here on the ground, but I know if I go high in the sky, it's very cool. When you go up in the airplane, they don't need air conditioning in the jet. They have little holes in the side of the jet that catches the air and sends it through the airplane. When you ride on the train, Rajdhani, you have to have has air conditioning units, but the jet plane doesn't need it because it's freezing out there. So Krishna knows all that. So he thought, oh, it's so hot down here in Gokul. I want to go up there and ride in the cool skies. So then this demon came, Trinavarta. And he picked him up, and he picked up all the trina and grass, and he was like what we call tufan, or a whirlwind, cyclone, tornado. He was going, woo, some pictures there in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, you can see. And then Krishna is going, and there's so much dust everywhere in Gokul, no one could see anything. It was like dark. There was so much Brajaduli flying in the air. And Yashoda was panicking and full of anguish and fear. Where's my Lala? Where's my Lala? She couldn't see her nose in front of her face. There was so much dust. So under the cover of that darkness, no one could see, that dark cloud, no one could see Krishna. And he was enjoying himself. Because if the Brijbasis by chance, if they were to look up, where's our Lala? Someone says, he's up there. They say, oh. And he's like 500 feet, 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet above the ground. And if you fall from there, and Krishna doesn't have a parachute, that can be a problem. He says, zoop, he says, boom. So if the Brijbasis would see that Leela of Krishna enjoying himself, they would all practically die in anxiety and worry. So then that whole dust cloud, under the cover of that darkness of dust, Krishna was relishing his sky ride. He was relishing his gondola ride across the Swiss Alps or something. He was relishing his ride over the scenic area, getting a bird's eye view of Brajamandal. You can imagine, there was one devotee of the Lord named Pagal Baba, and he built a temple back in the 70s or 60s or so, on the Mathura Vrindavan Road. It's 7 stories high. It's named after him. It's called Pagal Baba Mandir. And he was kind of a yogi type person, very interesting. He had mystic powers, but he looked like an ordinary Bengali. He was a Bengali person, Gaudiya Vaishnava. But he had lots of mystic powers from his last life. And he was a chain smoker also. Smoked one cigarette and then like that. A very interesting person. There's many stories about him in Braj, we used to hear when we first came to Vrindavan. So that he built a temple because he wanted everyone, all the yatris, to come and climb that temple and see the beautiful scenery of Vrindavan from the seventh story of his building. And the top floor, there's a deity on each floor. On the ground floor, it's Gaurnitai and Akhanda Kirtan. He left a will that this Akhanda Kirtan should go on for 10,000 years. and or 9,500 or so. And they have a group of a kirtan mandali there that's been chanting for 50 years or 40 years, 24 hours a day. They live there, a group of devotees. So he had a lot of money, and it's all being maintained by trust. So then there's Gaura-Nitai on the ground floor, then one floor is Lakshmi Narayan, then one floor is Sitaram, one floor is then maybe Krishna and Radha, then the upper floor is Shiva and Parvati, like this, because he's a Bengali. So Bengali, Parvati, Durga and Shiva are on the top floors. Then the final floor, the top floor, which you think would be the penthouse of the building, of some ritzy building on Fifth Avenue or somewhere in the rich area of the world. The top floor is usually, the whole floor is owned by some millionaire or whatever it's called, the suite. The top floor is suite or whatever. The top floor. So then, on the top floor, you think it would be the number one deity or his Ishtadev. So on the top floor, who is the deity there? Still, you can see in Bhagavad. Om. Om. There's a brass or bell metal carving of that Sanskrit that figure they make Om, and when they write Om in Sanskrit or Hindi, and that figure that's carved out of there, and it's mounted on some stone, and it's like a murti, Om symbol murti. But that's some particulars about the temple, just some tidbits. But the real thing is that he wanted people to get a bird's eye view of Vrindavan. And when you go up there in the old days, it's so beautiful. You can see all the domes. All you could see was green treetops and domes of temples. When you look towards Vrindavan, from there in towards Vrindavan. Oh, which temple is that? Oh, that's Krishna Balaram. What's it? Oh, that's Sitaram. Right behind it, that's Sitaram temple on the Parikram Marg. Oh, what temple is it? Oh, that's Madan Mohan. Oh, there's Govindaji. And those were the only, the skyline of Vrindavan was only the temple domes. As soon as you saw those domes and you saw the Vishnu chakras, then you thought of Krishna, then you remembered the various deities and those temples. And very beautiful. And then so many trees, and especially Raman Reti areas, so many trees, all those ashrams. Now if you go up there now, you'll see, oh, what's that? Oh, that's NRI. What's that? Oh, that's that's this guest house. That's the helipad. That's the helipad for this guest house. 15 stories, 20 stories. You can't see any temple domes at all. All you see is the top of these big buildings, 14 stories, 15 stories. So this is, the Vrindavan is a little different than the dust. So Radharani's moving under this cover of dust. And when she commenced her journey, she soon forgot all her troubles. Govinda Das says, "O loving Radha, after overcoming all difficulties, you have mastered the spells of Cupid. Now I advise you to ask Hari to explain to you the rituals of the art of love." He's saying that sadali manasija mantra. Then he's saying Hari sane rasamaya tantra. He's saying that you know the mantras, he knows the tantra. Tantra means the procedures. And mantra means, you know what mantra means, the vibrations, the chants, the vibrations, the songs, whatever, mantras. The mantra and tantra. So he's saying, because to do any yagya, to do any proper yagya, there has to be mantra. Swaha, this and that, shanti, shanti, swaha, whatever they do yagya. There's mantra, but then tantra means the details, how to do the yagya, this fire in this direction and this wood and all the rituals and details is called the tantra, to do a yagya. So Govinda Das is saying, listen, you're going to the kunja, Keli Kunja on your Avisar, to execute a very, very important yagya, very beneficial yagya for you, and you're the, I don't know who's the Purohit here and who's the Jajaman, but you're going to engage in a very auspicious yagya for the benefit of yourself and for Krishna. And what's the name of that yagya? Is it called Satyanarayan Puja or yagya or Shanti Puja or Homa or what is it? It's called Kandarpa Yagya. Kandarpa means Cupid. So Govinda Das is saying, you know the mantras, Manasija mantra. You know the mantras of Cupid, but Krishna knows the tantra. So together with your mantra and Krishna's tantra, then surely when you come together with the Purohit and the Jajaman, I don't know who's the Purohit means the priest, and Jajaman means the person who's receiving the benefit of that puja, the Jajaman. So maybe they're both Purohit, and so this is very nice. So the Abhisar will end. Radharani's Abhisar will end with this yajna, according to Govinda Das in his beautiful bhajan. So this is the situation of this verse 68. Krishna's waiting for Radharani to arrive, and she's on her Abhisar. Rupa Mantri is walking next to Radharani, supporting her with her loving arm. Rati Mantri is walking behind her in case she totters or sways backwards out of her anticipation of ecstasy. So the Mantris, they're all right there. They're the near, as Prabhupada called the Mantris. He said Mantris are near assistants of Radharani. So this verse shows how near they are. Sakhis are also serving Radharani. They're also assisting Radharani in her dressing and pastimes and many things. But the very, very near ones and dearest ones are the Sakhi Mantris, Pran Sakhis and Nitya Sakhis. So this is the verse 68. And we read about the pastimes, and I think that's most of the points. And we can go on to the next verse. This is verse 69, and this is a little later. That was 10:48 in the morning until 11:12. And this particular pastime occurs in 24 minutes. I'm always amazed by it. There's so many charts in English you must have seen. They're originally in Bengali, and the Gutika and the books by Siddha Krishnadas. And it's his idea, which has been adopted by many Gaudiyas, but he had been inspired by Radharani to write many different manuals and books of bhajan in Bengali. And one of his most famous books that many Western people are aware of is a book of Nitya Leela. It's an amazing compilation where he took something like 48 different shastras. And he didn't have computer or folio or all these things. He took 48 different shastras and extracted bits and pieces of descriptions of the Astakali Leela and blended them all together, something like a patchwork quilt. I don't know, someone has a blanket and it's all little scraps they sew all together, and it's red and blue and yellow and green, all different pieces of cloth or a bedspread. And it's an amazing compilation. It's called Bhava Sara Sangraha, and it's about 70% Govinda Lilamrita, 20% Krishna Bhavanamrita. Then the rest is everywhere. Books of the Goswamis and Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranas, and Rupa Goswami's writings, and it's such an amazing book. Because you may read about in Krishna Bhavanamrita, it said when Krishna and Radharani were waking up, they woke up, the parrots were singing. And that's all it says. And then it goes on to the next scene. But another book it says, or a song even, it says the parrots were singing like this. Then he interjects that. So it's a continuous flow of Leela description. It's quite an amazing book when you think about what it all is. It's a continuous flow of the description of Leela, but it's been enhanced, and he's integrated 40 different shastras into the description of one pastime to enhance it and enrich it with more ras and more detail, more visual objects to remember. So it's Govinda Leela, it's everything in one, you can say. And he provided that for the sadhakas. Otherwise, because he saw the sadhaka would read Govinda Lilamrita, then he would pick up Bhavanamrita, then he would, so he picked all the nicest things from each of the shastras, which gives the richest, most beautiful rasa-filled description of Radha and Krishna's pastimes, and he put them in one place to make it accessible and easy for the sadhakas, for their Nam Bhajan, and their Leela Smaran, and Manasi Seva, and their Siddhadeya. So that book is in English, and it's one of his contributions. So another thing he wrote was Dandatmika, Dandatmika Seva. Dandatmika means the 24-minute periods, danda, and there's 60 time periods in a day, and there's different sevas and different pastimes that Radha and Krishna engage in. So this verse is talking about Madhyan Lila, 224 to 248. After Radha and Krishna enjoyed drinking intoxicating honey wine, it's called Madhupan Lila, then they're relaxing, and after they've enjoyed, and this is the verse, we're dropping right in there with his meditation. At one moment he's on Avisar, and the next verse that he's writing in his Stavavali, Vilapkusamanjali, is not in time sequence. It's not sequential, but it's his bhav, he's just chanting japa, he's chanting the holy name on the banks of Shamaka, and all of a sudden, this danda comes in his mind, this dandatmika, this danda lila. You think, so last pastime is at 11 o'clock, this pastime is at 3 o'clock. So what happened in between? So many other pastimes. So here, he's just, his heart's going that way, this sporty he's having, this vision he's having during his meditation, so he records it. And again, he's saying, when? Kim, Kim, Kim. All these are prayers for seva. He's having a vision of Leela in his antardasha, and he renders that service, and then he comes out, and then he hankers to render that service, he writes about it. When will that come? When will that come? So for us, we have not attained the plateau of bhava or prema. And level of bhava is when sportis begin. Not until then. Sporti visporti sakshat darshan. So he's having sportis, and practically it's like sakshat darshan, but it's described as deep visions of the pastimes, so real it seems like you can touch Priya Priyatam. But it's a vision, very realistic, multi-dimensional, multifaceted, and emotionally involving experience of Radha and Krishna's Leela in the depths of your meditation at the level of bhava. So then for us, we have not attained that platform. So we're praying. I forgot to stop this. There's continuous. This is Vilapkusamanjali text 69, continuing, October 27th, because it's all 2 on 1. So a little hard. So on our level, that's why he puts his Kim there. Because he could just leave that out and say, I rendered this service, it's wonderful. Bas. But everywhere, Narottam Das Thakur, Mahashaya, he's Champak Manjari. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he's Vinod Vallari Manjari. And Raghunath Das Tulsi Manjari, Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari, and Utkalika Vallari, and Savamala. Everywhere they're writing when. They're Nitya Parishas. Their when is now. There's no, when means future. When means not now but future. When means it's not happening now but I hope it happens in the future. Like the businessman, when will I become rich? Maybe never. That's also there. Or when will I become successful or whatever. So, or when will I go to Vrindavan if you're out overseas or something. So that is put there for the sadhakas, and the books are written for us. This is the goal, the prayojana, that you'll render sevas like this. This is the offering. This is what we're offering in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. This is the prayojana of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, to be a servant of Radharani and Dasi Bhav, Radha Dasyam. And these are all the wonderful varieties of services that are rendered by the Sakhi Manjaris of Radharani. And all the Goswamis are writing about that. And all the Padakartas are writing about that. And they're guiding us that way. They're guiding our meditation. They're guiding our prayers. They're having prayers. Radha Krishna Pranamor Jugala Kishore says, Sham Gori Angadiva, Chandanera Ganda. Sham Gori Angadiva. Oh Sham, Gori Sham. Gori Sham, beautiful name for Radha and Krishna. Oh Gori Sham, oh golden one, oh dark one. Oh Gori Radha, oh Sham, Sundar Bhagavan Sri Krishna. When will I grind chandan? When will I apply sandalwood paste to your bodies, to your forms, to your divine bodies? When? So that's a song in the ISKCON songbook. It's all about developing Mandri Bhav, Sakhi Bhav. Radha Krishna, you're my, oh Radha and Krishna. It doesn't say, oh Krishna Balaram, you're my life and soul. It says Radha Krishna Pranamora, Yugala Kishore. Jivana Marani Gati Aronahimor. In life or death, I have nothing else. You're the only goal of my life. Jivane Marani Gati Aronahimor. There is nothing else for me. Whether I live or die, it's your eternal service as your Sakhi Manjari. This is Gaudiya Vaishnavism. This is taught by all of our acharyas and Goswamis. This is written about in all our books, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavatam, etc. Upadeshamrita, Stavavali, Stavamala, Manashiksha, Prarthana, Prem Bhakti Chandrika. So the when, so he's saying, my dear friend, oh Sakhi, Rupamandri, when will I be able to see you with my mistress, my Swamini Radha, decorating her dearest one with flower ornaments in a grove cottage on the bank of her lake? So he's hankering. So we're here. That's why devotees, they sit down with this book on the banks of Radhakund, and they look at these verses and they close their eyes and they chant and they remember and they say, when on the banks of your Kund will I have this opportunity, as Raghunath Das is guiding us. So what's happening here is that this is a little bit of the purport is explaining the Leela behind the verse, but he's backing up a little bit to when Krishna was waiting, because it says Hari Bhushita, the Hari Bhushita Kunja, that he was decorating the Kunja, the Keli Kunja, Hari Bhushita Keli Kunjam. That Krishna with his own hands, he was decorating the Kunja. Well, what was he thinking? What was Hari thinking at that time? And he was thinking, well, when my Priyaji sees all of what I've done, how nicely I've decorated this Kunj, she'll be very eager. She'll be very eager to play with me after she sees this. So then so it goes on. So so what happens is after they meet together, then they have Madhapan and then they enjoy, and now they're decorating and dressing each other. So then it says that during their pastimes, Sham's crown and his pearl necklace, his flower garland, and all of his garments have all broken and fallen off. And Swamini Radha says, oh Sundar, oh, that's very nice, oh Sundar, oh beautiful one. Oh Sundar, just look at your condition. Wait, I'm going to personally decorate you. Because I've spoiled your looks, I'll make you look so nice again. Just sit down for a while. Then she tells Rupa Mantri, hey Rupa, come here. We're going to pick some flowers. We're going to make a beautiful flower outfit for Krishna. Have you ever heard of flower outfits? Have you ever seen flower outfits? Have you ever worked to make flower outfits? Especially ladies or gentlemen also. Can have that talent, artistic talent, and Shringar. So Radharani is saying, come on, Krishna, you wait. We're going to really make you look beautiful. Not only beautiful, you came here with a pitambara dhoti, and you had a copper-colored turban, like when you read Govinda Lilamrita. Yashoda, she's very particular about her lala. Just like young boys, when they go to school, their mothers dress them up. Of course, in India, they have school uniforms and whatnot. But they're very particular how they look. Or the little girls, they take their hair and make little pigtails and put red ribbons in them, and they tie them like this, You see in a village, the hair goes, looks like a motorcycle or something like that. You get, it looks more like, it says it's a village, it looks more like the horns of a bull or something. Their hair just all gathered up, pulled up like this, and it goes, Sometimes I joke with the little kids. I go, Maharaj. It's just the funny thing. And the bright red ribbons to make it even more, make you notice how stupid it is even more. If it just had black ribbons, you wouldn't notice how crazy it looks going like this. With that bright fire engine red, can't miss it. So now they're saying, you can't, and then so you showed us organizing the dressing. Shringar means decorating, also means decorating each other with intimacies of love, Shringarati. But in Shringar Seva, or Shringar Artik, that's seeing the beautiful decorations and new dress of Radha and Krishna. So then Yashoda is supervising the manjaris and dasis, and griha dasis and nandagram, and also the sakas that are dressing Krishna. She says, listen, dress Krishna as Pitambara Dhoti, and for his turban, use that, he should wear that copper-colored turban. I want him to wear a copper-colored turban. And his shirt should be that cream yellow one. So she's very particular about his dress. So when he comes like that, with copper-colored, this pital, no, not pital, tamra rang kapagari, copper-colored turban. And then his pitambara is yellow dhoti, bright yellow dhoti, like Radharani, her color, skin tone. But then Radharani says, just have yellow, copper, yellow. It's all yellow. You stay here. On my manjaris night, we'll pick some beautiful. We'll make you so colorful. We will make you so beautiful. With our flower outfit, we'll make a flower. It'll be purple and pink and green and yellow, white, all so many colors. And pink, and you'll see. So this is what the verse is describing. When will I see, Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari is praying, Rupa Manjari, I'm hankering. When will that day come when I see you, my Manjari, my Shiksha Guru, Rupa Manjari? When will I see you and Radha together dressing Krishna? If you ever do pujari work and you're new, and then sometimes you go on the altar and you watch the senior pujaris dress the deities, and you're amazed. That depends on who they are, but if they have a lot of feelings and a lot of devotion, you can observe that as they're moving and dressing Radha and Krishna. And especially if you want to watch how they make flower outfits, which is what's going on here. So it's very interesting. Here's Tulsi Manjari, Raghunath Das, and Nitya Leela Smaran, and his Siddhadeya, and his Swarupa Vesh, and he's watching Shringar. He's about to watch the Shringar of Rupa Manjari and Radharani dress Krishna. So here we are, we're Vaidhi sadhakas, we're in the temple, But if our consciousness was saturated with these books, then we'd say, wow, Radharani and Rupa Manjari, they also dress Krishna. I wonder if they dress like this. Or if you are dressing, because this was the consciousness of Indra. Because, we read and he had all these books on tapes and else. So when he was dressing, he was thinking, I'm assisting Rupa Manjari, and I'm assisting Radharani, and we're making this flower out for Sham, and it should be like this and like that. So it's consciousness. Your consciousness can just be rooted in this material world, in this material body, and the momentary transitory problems that we deal with moment to moment, removing sufferings and creating comfort. That's our whole activity. Removing suffering, creating comfort. Creating a comfort zone by pushing back the waves of suffering. This is material life. But in spiritual consciousness, then your consciousness rising above the body and the difficulties of existing, then you go into the spiritual realm of Leela and Seva on that plane. So there it is. She's saying, I'm going to decorate you. So then Swamini takes Rupa along into the gardens and they pick flowers of her own choice. So Radharani is a designer outfit with flowers personally picked by Radharani. And she comes back into the kunja along with Rupa, and she begins to decorate her prananath with ornaments made of these flowers. I think, is it overtime? No, okay, I will continue there tomorrow. There's, of course, and then you may be wondering, so what sevas are the manjaris doing then? So Tulsi is standing on one side of the kunja, and she's floating in oceans of bliss as she watches Ishwari's expertise in service. She thinks, only my Swamini can do such service. This brings a very nice point that you'll see, generally when we meditate or we think about serving in our subtle body, or let's say in our spiritual body or meditative body, antas chinta, deha, internally conceived or thought of spiritual body, or meditating on service, manasi seva within the mind, we think service means we're making something, we're offering something, we're doing something with our working senses. But also, many places there's service just rendered by the eyes. You're rendering service by the eyes, or rendering service by your ears, hearing, by seeing, and also, of course, by speaking. So by seeing, because you'll read, Vishnu Chakravarti said, when will I feel the greatest delight? O Radharani, when will I feel the greatest delight? When I see you so expertly, when I see Shyam so expertly brushing your hair. So at that moment in time, in the Leela, the mantri is not actively doing anything, not handing a comb, or not holding a tray, or not actually brushing the hair, or simply a bystander, an onlooker, witnessing. But that is service with the eyes. Or when will I hear Rupa Mantri reciting the most beautiful song to please you and your beloved after you've spent your time in intimacies? When will my ears find happiness just hearing? So just hearing some other Sakhis sing or seeing them engage in service, that itself will be the service you'll render. Because in the list of service is serving with the eyes, serving with the ears. And speech is obvious because you're speaking about the condition of Radha to Krishna, or Krishna's condition to Radha, or telling some Leela. You were in Nandagram and you were there when Krishna was being dressed in your manasik seva. Then you return to Barsana before Radharani goes to cook breakfast. And she's so much separation. Oh, Sakhi Mantri, oh, Navagopi, where have you come from? I came from Nandagram. I just was there. Acha, what were you doing? I was dressing Krishna. Oh, what was he wearing? How did you dress him? Did he say anything, or did my name come up, or anything like this, or whatever? And he said, oh yes, he got one new parrot. He got one new parrot, and he keeps it in a cage. And he teaches that parrot to chant a mantra. Dara, 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 Dara. So the mother just thinks that the parrot is chanting Dara, Dara, Dara. Dara, Dara, Dara means hold on. Hold on. Dara means Haladar, hold Murlidhar, hold the flute, hold the plow. Dara, 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 Radha, 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 Radha. It's like Mara, Mara, Mara becomes Ram, 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 Ram. After some time, the tongue gets twisted backwards. Like you go this way, then you go that way. So the tongue is going this way. This is how Valmiki got the realization and power and potency to see the future and write the Ramayana. He was a hunter, and Narada Muni met him. And said, oh, you're killing animals. Why don't you chant Ram Nam? Satya, hey. Why don't you chant Ram Nam? And he said, no, I have no interest in God. I like killing animals. So okay, you like Mara. Mara means death. So then you just then do some kind of chanting, some kind of Nam Sankirtan. So you chant Mara Mara. So he's okay. I'm good with that. Mara Mara Mara, doom. Mara Mara Mara, doom. Mara Mara Mara, doom. Shooting animals, chanting Mara Mara Mara. So he's chanting Mara 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 Ram. Mara became Rama. Because the tongue can only go so far forward before it has to come backwards, right? Out and in. So Mara 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 became Ram 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 Ram. So the parrot, the new parrot, this is the news that the Sakhi Mantri gave to Radharani, the Samachar, Dinak Samachar from Nandagaon, Pratakal, Prabhat, Dinak Prabhat, the daily news, whatever. So she said, yes, a new parrot sitting in a golden cage, and the parrot's repeatedly chanting Dara, 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 Dara. And no one thinks, and Yashoda thinks, oh, what a nice parrot, he's chanting Dara, Dara, Dara. And Radharani said, so, so that's nice, he has a new parrot, but what do you mean, Saki? What do you mean, Navagopi? And then she says, no, you see, the parrot's chanting Dara, 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 and everyone, Nanda Baba, Yashoda Ma, and Dao, and Subal, Sridham, and Manamangal, everyone just thinks, oh, that parrot is so stupid, he doesn't know anything, he's only chanting Dara, Dara, Dara. But you see, Radharani, this parrot, people are hearing so much Dara, 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 they don't know that half the time he's saying Radha, 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 Radha. He's saying Dara, Dhara, 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 D-H-A-R-A. And Krishna has that pet parrot. He trained him to say that because he always wants to hear your name being chanted. So this parrot that Krishna got in Nandagram was the beginning, the very first chanting box in the history of chanting boxes. Everyone has a little box. Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe, Radhe. Radhe Sham, 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 Radhe, Radhe. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Right? Varsane Wali Radhe. They have all these chanting boxes. You must have heard. So this is the first one, Krishna's parrot, Tota box, Tota chanting box. 5,000 years ago. So it's not new. What's new? Nothing's new. So that's the news that the mantris may give. So that's service by speaking. So now we'll find out more tomorrow. So we have to have some Chaitanya Charitamrita class. Get the mercy of Chaitanya. Okay. Jaya Jaya.